What are the major obstacles with owning and assembling a experimental aircraft, specifically the Seabee?
Well, the thing is that experimental airplanes usually come, totally just disassembled, and they consist of like anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 parts. Okay, that any regular airplane has today. A Seabee is very unusual in the fact that it only has about 500 parts. Okay, which makes it a lot easier to assemble than most airplanes are. The thing is that you have to be very good at riveting. This was done years and years ago, but a rivet job is a big part of these airplanes, and that all of these were made brand new by the former owner of this. He was an excellent machinist and toolmaker, and he basically replaced everything with brand new rivets. So the other thing about this is that a Seabee is really, it doesn't use today's modern technology of like you would make computer chips or something to do something. This would do it in an analog way. And it's just like, but they do it to very, very fine tolerances. So it's like if you have a space in there, to put something in there, it was just like it goes into within a 1/16 of an inch, which has to be, and you got to be right on with what you're doing in order to be able to make it fit. And it was just like, so they had people who were very small who could wander out all throughout this fuselage working on the inside of it to help put it together. And it was just like, and then it was presented. It was just like, so for you to get in the airplane, you really basically it's a very tight operation, and usually you want it done beforehand. Find a model that has basically some of the construction done before you start taking it on.
Is that hard to come by?
Yes, very hard to come by. So it's like you're looking for these things as simple as you can. The other part about it is that the Seabee is a very unusual aircraft in the way it was constructed. For some reason, it does not corrode like other airplanes in salt water. It does, but just not as fast. And it was just like, and it's because of the way they built this airplane, using pretty much rivets instead of screws. The screws would make small scratches in the metal, in which corrosion can be able to insert itself into the scratches and then form rust, and then that would ruin your machine. But they also used an aluminum that was especially made by the Reynolds company, like Reynolds Wrap. It's just like they built this airplane out of an aluminum that we don't even really know what aluminum they used. It was kind of left off in their naming of this stuff. But it's just like, it's extraordinarily strong and very resistant to corrosion. They also have little like unusual construction techniques down here of like hoops that spread the rib, that are like ribs that come up under the under part of the underside of the airplane, and they really help in also being very corrosion resistant. I have hardly ever heard of anybody having any corrosion problems on the bottom of the airplane, which should be like natural as can be. I was just like, but it's not in a Seabee. They can sit out for years and years. And I was just like, and be perfectly fine doing it. And it's very unusual. And I was like, this also has an unusual modification in the fact that these are called chines. And what they do is they take air in up underneath here, and when it's starting to take off, it takes the air back to the rear part of the airplane, so it allows it to get unstuck from the water, as the water at the speed you're traveling have a tremendous suction capability due to the water tension in the water.
So it kind of disrupts the water
The
tension.
flow of the water over it, and it breaks it up, so you're able to take off. It's just like this plane, due to the power of the engine, can get off the water in about 5 seconds. So it's very impressive what it does.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, with all seaplanes, you do have that problem of suction once you land in the water. Just getting out of the water can be a very difficult task as opposed to a regular takeoff from the land with your wheels.
Yes, the Seabee is very, very unusual in the fact that it can do things that a lot of airplanes can't even do today, and one of them is the fact that most seaplanes take like a half mile to a mile to get off the water. And if you're talking things with waves and that kind of thing, well, it's just like you're talking beating yourself up pretty badly in a seaplane. If you're trying to get off the water in that amount of space, you know, a Seabee can do it almost immediately, which saves a lot of wear and tear on the airplane. And also, this is why this is really built for the ocean. It's one of the few planes that are. Most people just go into fresh water with these things. So the reason I bought this was really to go to the Bahamas and go out and investigate all the islands that are out there. And over 2,000 islands in the Bahamas have never been lived on. So it's like my desire is to go out and see them. So and that's why I bought this guy. And I hope to do it someday.